Hi, everybody. Welcome to Trendy Trading. My name is Jonathan. Let's go ahead and get started with this week's BMA, broad market analysis. These are very, very important. I'm going to give you my overall sentiment. I'm going to give you trade setups using the SPY, Q, DIA, and IWM. I'm going to give you my overall sentiment as well. Please make sure you go over to YouTube, Trendy Trading, and watch my very quick video on how I trade the neutral strategy. Why not? It's all free and you can see the results, and we'll post those results. We even have members doing challenges where you can see those results by looking at the newsletter. I'm excited to show you this week. I'm excited because we got earnings coming up. I'm excited because, we have some forecasts that could really lead us either into all-time highs or we're going to dip down in some lower support levels. Let's go ahead and get started here. So our SPY, again, on the left-hand side is your weekly. And for some reason, we break above 466.17. I'm looking for targets of 467.83, 469.74. Very quick, very easy. I go long above that green line. I trim into those targets and I bring the stops up where I'm comfortable. To the downside, because I don't expect too much of a pullback going into earnings, I'm not as overly biased for the short side. I'm actually looking for support down there. This doesn't mean that I'm not going to go short underneath this red line of 462.02. It just means I will most likely have my stops a little bit tighter, and I will be cautious as we move into the lower targets and looking for that bounce. Again, those targets to the downside, you can see them here. Please annotate them and come back next week and we'll talk about those, okay? Now, as far as the cloud, this is very, very important. So we are still underneath the weekly cloud, but notice that bulls came in. This is what I call flush low. All right, so we came in here, we flushed out some traders who probably put stops in. Bulls were in control, but they quite didn't get over here. I do believe we can get over that 466.17. You could see a nice rounding bottom into the upper targets that I'm looking at. Now over here in the middle, we have the daily. Not much to talk about except for the fact that on the daily, you're still inside the cloud. Matter of fact, you're underneath the cloud. So you're coming into a lot of resistance on open come Tuesday morning. Okay. Over here on the right hand side, we have the trading view, and you can see this is the longer term trend. It's very straightforward. I have a support line here. That support line comes in or at or around 459. Okay, so 459.18. We have some resistance right now at 466.55, and above that, you could see moves up towards that 474 level. That is the bigger look there. Let's go ahead and move into the QQQ. All right, so our Qs, tech. Let's talk about it for a minute. So we're still in the cloud, not, unlike the SPY, we're not quite up here towards the top of this cloud. We're in the middle. And a lot of times they tell you, don't diddle in the middle. Well, I have a neutral strategy. Basically, I want to trade this the same exact way. You can see the targets here to the upside and the targets to the downside. Again, targets to the upside, resistance. Those to the downside are going to be support. Now, what are we looking at as far as formations? Well, again, this pretty much tells me indecision, okay? If we start to break down even further, I would expect support at around that 373 level this week. If for some reason we take out the low, look for the inside and up here, right around at around 361, okay? Now, to the upside, again, resistance until proven otherwise, guys. We don't break out of that resistance until we start breaking above that 387.5. Okay. As far as the QQQ on the daily, you can see here, again, we're underneath the cloud. We're extended a little bit to the downside, not too much. There's a little bit of divergence. Notice that my T1 or target 1 to the upside is right in line with that 9 EMA, but also this wick that's over here. I would expect a resistance around here. One thing I want to tell you guys is if we open up into one of my upper target ones, be careful because you are opening up into resistance. All right, so to the downside, you can see our targets as well. Over here on the right-hand side, pay attention. This is my overall blueprint. You can see that we have an inside and up down here towards that 365 by 345. Now, personally, this is a better area to get long for the bigger picture. So right now, again, we're just kind of in the middle. I am neutral on the Qs going into this week. However, because of that, I'll be trading my signals plus this neutral strategy. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go to the DIA or the diamonds, Dow Futures, Dow Jones. Okay, let's go over here, DIA. All right, so on the left-hand side, formations inside and down. Still holding the cloud. That's a good thing. We flushed the cloud. We're back above it. It looks for right now very tight and range bound. Okay. Tight and range bound. Notice and annotate the numbers that I have here: 361.38 by 358.97. Targets to upside, targets to the downside. My overall sentiment here, you can see my banners up here. It's saying monthly is bullish, yearly is bullish. The weekly was extremely bearish. Again, going into this weekend, our week, I am very neutral on this as we have earnings still dropping and just really beginning. Okay. On the daily, we're in the cloud. I would expect this week to be pretty choppy. But again, we're not free, just like I was telling you guys on the Qs. If we can't get above 362.24, expect sideways. Okay. Just expect sideways action. Over here on the right hand side, you can see the bigger picture. We came into the support level I gave you guys last week, and you can see that support level is holding so far. But again, if it starts breaking down, come over here, pay attention to your lower targets, look to go short into those lower targets. I'd be looking at trimming into those lower targets. Okay. All right. For the IWM, let's take a quick look at this. Same thing. IWM came into the trendy edge. It was a great area to get long. And I'm going to show you that really quick. That's going to be that pink line. We can't make this stuff up, guys. That pink line's been there for over a month. Price came down. This is where trendy members look to get long. This worked out very well. Well, guess what? We have a new neutral blueprint for this week. And again, don't want to be looking to get long unless we get above 214.80. But then again, all these charts are really looking the same. Even if we go long to the upside, we got a lot of resistance, a lot of supply above. So just be careful. This week, again, I haven't said this yet, but it's very important. I have a certain level or percentage I like to trade when I'm expecting chop. When I'm expecting chop, I'm trimming at lower percentages than I normally would when we're going into a trending market. And guys, this is not a trending market. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll build some kind of foundation. But please, if anything you take from this video this week especially, I want you to remember we are in choppy conditions. They're more difficult. A lot of times traders are one thing that you could say is that you want to trade smaller with wider stops, and that way you don't get stopped out because of the choppiness, and then things just tend to move in your direction afterwards. So you don't want to get stopped out and then be bummed out because you got, you weren't still in the trade. So keep that in mind, okay? If we break down below 210.66, I have this 208.88. That's basically a double bottom right there. It's an H pattern right now, and if that breaks, folks, we're looking for 205, 201, and possibly all the way down to 196. Now, the bigger picture over here on the right-hand side is that we were potentially, you could see on IWM, I'm looking for a potential inside and up, but it's taking a very long time. So we're just hanging out in this green box, and this is the red box. So this is the area we could travel to. But again, this is a big picture, and it's hands off. It's chopped down until we could start to hold over this green box. Okay, and that's roughly around 220, 220 and a half. If we start to break down below that green, that's going to give me the signal to really be biased for the downside and to continue shorting down into the lower targets that I have provided. Okay. All right, so my overall sentiment, again, coming into this week, just looking at SPY, Qs, DIA, and IWM, I want to stick to the neutral strategy. I want to use the trendy signals that we use here in the room. I want to stay intraday. I really do. That's me. I want to be intraday. It's been working out very well. So what do I mean by that? Coming into the day, my idea is to take daily trades. If proven otherwise, I'll hold on to them. That means you have to have some sort of rule. That rule might be, hey, I take 10 contracts, I trim 5 of them at 40%, and the other 3 at 80%, and I'll keep 2 overnight if they happen to get over 100%, right? Some sort of rule. That's just a hypothetical for you guys, but you got to have something. And the reason why I say that is because the market's not trending. A lot of people, they want to swing the call side to the upside, right? And they want to hold that, but it's not working out because of the conditions that we're in. So again, intraday until proven otherwise for me. Now, the next thing that we want to take a look at is the skew. Okay. Now I want to show you something that's really interesting as we get here. This is your skew on the right hand side. Please take a look at this. As skew starts to drop, basically what's happening is there's so much fear in the market. Skew starts to drop, and then risk is something I want to be looking at. That means I'm ready to start trading a little bit bigger. I'm more biased to the upside and so forth. We're getting very close, but I have these annotations here. We are basically, you can read it. This has never changed. It's been on here for years. We're entering a chop cycle. That's it. And it makes sense coming into earnings this week. Okay. All right. So over here again, very close to risk on, but please be patient as we stay above 131. I just believe there's going to be a lot of chop. Okay. All right. So saying that, tonight I'm going to be working on my outlook for ES futures, the SPY, the SPX, basically all three of those for the entire year. We almost finished up. I haven't been able to put the video out, but I will be doing that tonight. And then I'll be doing Bitcoin. So we'll be also looking at what I'm expecting for Bitcoin. Remember, we met our targets almost every year. I push these out almost to the tick, and I expect to do the same this year. I hope you're looking forward to it. Don't forget, if you want to check out the Trendy Trading community, go to trendytrading.co. We have trials. We have a lot of great specials. We also have the YouTube page at Trendy Trading. And of course, again, the newsletter that is free. All you got to do is put your email in. That's going to send you that information, not only that I just talked about, but it's going to give you the charts and the levels as well. I hope to see you soon. I hope to be trading with you soon. Good luck this week and have yourself a great holiday weekend. Thank you.